After a wild extra innings affair, the Blue Jays will face the Astros one more time here at the place they used to call the Sky Dome. And with that, what better way to win a series but sending one of your better pitchers to the mound? He was brilliant at Fenway in his most recent outing. We speak of Trey Savage. Up to the booth we go. There's Dan Schulman and Caleb Joseph.
Jamie, thank you. As you say, the rubber match of this series. Houston has won 3 series in a row. The Blue Jays are trying to continue some recent good play despite that tough loss last night. And as Jamie mentioned, they got to feel good with Trey Savage coming off a very good outing.
In the finale in Boston, the bullpen was shot, Dan, and they needed a huge outing from Trey Savage, and they totally got it. How about this? His longest outing of his career, 7 1/3 innings pitched, just 6 strikeouts. 4 hits he allowed, but it was his intent and how he went about it in that game that really grabbed my attention. This is what Blue Jays fans noticed about him when he first bust on the scene last year late in the season and led them to the World Series. It was forceful, it was intentful. He had one thing on his mind, that was get in the zone, be aggressive, ultra aggressive. He did that. See if he can carry that same type of mentality into this game.
He told us a couple of days ago in the clubhouse that was his plan tonight, to attack them, make them worry about him. We'll see how that plan pays off, Jamie, here with the roof open at Rogers Center here tonight.
Roof open and my old public school singing the anthem, New Central in Oakville, Ontario. There's a look at Mike Burrows set to go in the final game of this series. He's got Trey Savage on the other side, and we have a ball game after this. Enjoy.
Welcome to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. A little cloudy, a little cool, but a little roof open here, at least for now, at Rogers Center. Mike Burrows is on the mound for the Astros, as we just talked about. Trey Savage will get the start tonight for the Blue Jays. Keep in mind, the Astros have never seen Savage, and there's a lot of mystery about him the first time you see him because of that arm angle. And we'll see how that pays off for him tonight. The Astros are 18-12 in their last 30. They're playing pretty good baseball right now. They don't have Christian Walker in the lineup tonight. A night off for him. Yainer Diaz hit a home run last night. Cam Smith hit a home run. And, of course, Joey Loperfido, the former Blue Jay, hit a 3-run home run in the 11th. That was the difference. Yordan Alvarez is always a potential problem, and I'm sure generated a lot of discussion of the pregame meeting with Pete Walker and Trey Savage.
11th start for the right-hander, 3-3 with a 3.76 earned run average. Had starts in Baltimore and New York, 6 runs and 5 runs, and then really got back on the horse. Last outing in Boston, 7 1/3, 6 strikeouts, 4 hits. His intent totally changed, Dan, and that's something we're going to talk about throughout this broadcast. But he looked like the Savage that we saw when he first came on the scene. He changed his mentality. He got back into the zone, hyper aggressive, and it really worked out for him. On defense for the Blue Jays behind Savage here. Schneider in left field. No Sanchez versus the right-hander. Varsho is in center. Nathan Lucas makes his 20th start of the season in right field. Okamoto at third. Jimenez in his .992 fielding percentage leads all MLB shortstop. Urias making his 2nd start as a Blue Jay at second. Guerrero Jr. and Kirk is behind the plate for Savage.
No Ernie Clement tonight as well. They're managing that left hip situation. They're seeing a lefty tomorrow night to open up the Texas series. Mackenzie Gore will be on the mound. They want to make sure they have Ernie for that game. Could be available later tonight, but not in the starting lineup tonight. And you mentioned no Jesus Sanchez. Again, 2nd time in the last 5 days with a right-handed pitcher on the mound for the opposing team that Sanchez is not in the lineup. So clearly defense is being considered here. Davis Schneider, a better defender at left than Sanchez. Schneider at left, Luis Urias at second. With Clement out, and here's Jose Altuve to lead it off. Altuve has been a bit of a nuisance in this series. He is 4 for 9 for the Astros in this series. Went 3 for 6 last night. As the first pitch rides in high for ball 1. This is interesting. This is a 6'4" guy with the highest release point in baseball against a 5'6" guy. You got to get that ball down to get it in the strike zone against Altuve, and that'll play. It's 1-1. That was a slider, and again, Savage's slider, very unusual. A righty, it doesn't move away from right-handed batters. It moves even a little bit in on them. Here's one lifted to shallow center. And an easy play for Dalton Varsho. Savage making sure the pitch comm is functioning normally as Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate. So he is 3 for 6 with 4 walks in this series. 1 double, 2 singles. He's gotten on, but if you will, hasn't done a ton of damage in the series.
That's a success. Take that all day.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Been on base 7 times. This is popped up. Okamoto back into shallow left field, and how about that? Savage gets Alvarez on 1 pitch.
He was efficient in that start in Boston, and it was about getting strike 1 and staying in the zone. No walks is the key there. He had battled walks in the last 5 or 6 starts, and when you see a pitcher that goes 7 1/3 with no walks, that tells you how aggressive in the zone he was in that start.
2 quick outs for Savage, and now the shortstop Jeremy Pena. Pena left Monday night's game with a hamstring cramp. Didn't start last night, but came in late as a pinch hitter. He is back in there starting tonight. Very, very important part of the Astros team. Savage out in front, 0-2. Part of it is not only being in the strike zone, it's being around the zone enough just to put the hitters in swing mode instead of take mode.
100%. And that's when he can start to expand, especially when you get to 0-2 counts like this. You can take a shot underneath, above. Take 1 shot. If you don't get it, then get right back in the zone.
Out in front, 0-2. And a bouncer foul. Why did he just touch his chest right there?
I think he probably wanted that a little bit lower for Chase. That ball probably caught way more plate than he was intending. In a 2-strike, especially 0-2 count, nothing in the zone typically.
Another foul off. Kirk making sure everything is okay. Might need a moment here. So it remains 0-2. There's the guy who hurt the Blue Jays last night, their former teammate Joey Loperfido. Fastball up and away, ball 1. Fastball, splitter, slider from Savage. That's the one he wants. And the 1-2 misses away with a fastball. 2-2. And then misses down low with a split that Pena wouldn't go after. So from 0-2 now to a full count.
And I like the action on that last split. Really nice take by Pena right there. That thing was darting and diving late.
And another foul up. Pena is making this tough here on Savage.
You could just tell the swings are very uncomfortable. Saw Altuve just all over the place. Alvarez jammed up. Watch this swing from Pena. He's going to get tied up. Gator armed on the inner half. Look how tight he brings those hands in there. He's just in defense mode. When you see a hitter that tight to the body with 2 strikes, they're really trying to battle there.
He has already, as you can see, seen 8 pitches in this at bat. The 3-2 one more time, and it's down and away, ball 4. And Pena works Savage for a walk.
Mentioned it earlier, did not walk a batter in that start versus Boston. Insult to injury, 0-2 to 3-2 to walk. Never the way you want to finish an AB.
Now Isaac Paredes, the cleanup hitter again tonight for the Astros. On an 8-game hitting streak and hitting over 400. in that time as he looks at strike one called. Always a dangerous guy, always a power threat. The Astros seeing Savage for the first time, so they've looked at the video, they've got the analytics, they've had the pregame meeting, but it's always different when you get in the box.
Always watch how they're reacting to certain pitches, what their takes look like, how their first couple swings look like.
And a throw to first as Pena dives back in. He's got 7 steals in 8 tries. Not going. And it's up and away. 1-1. Savage telling us a couple of days ago, as you said, the mindset was entirely on get in the zone. Don't think too much about their strengths and weaknesses. Here's a line drive into left center field, and it will be down and off the glove of Schneider. And getting the wave around third is Pena, and the throw to the plate is not in time. It will be an RBI double for Paredes, and it's 1-0 Houston.
Off the end of the bat of Paredes, and it kind of splits the defenders. Schneider's trying to make a beat on it, and what you're going to see is Varsho coming behind Schneider in left field, and he's there to back up, but that ball caroms off of the glove, and Varsho's got to stop, redirect, and then move backwards to corral that baseball. And right off contact, Pena's moving, cutting tight corners.
With 2 outs, obviously he is going hard right away, and unfortunately for Schneider, who made a great effort at the ball, the deflection and the carom might have been the difference between Pena being safe and out at the plate.
Had he missed it, Varsho would have had it right in stride.
Here's Loperfido.
And I'm not sure third base coach Tony Perez-Chica would have sent him. Again, Perez-Chica, many years in Arizona, knows Varsho, but knows that if you're moving towards that ball, you've got a little bit more momentum, put a little bit more behind the throw into the cutoff man.
This one is topped to the right side, and it'll be one unassisted for Savage. The Astros get one in the top of the first. Cap commemorating the original mascot when Skydome was opened back in 1989. It's a fun retro hit with the crowd, it would appear, tonight. The Blue Jays coming up in the bottom of the first, and a look at the lineup includes Dalton Varsho, who had a big night last night. 2 doubles and a home run. Kazuma Okamoto is red hot as well. Okamoto's hitting cleanup. Varsho 5th. Davis Schneider in left. Urias at 2nd. And they will face a guy who has had a tough run the last month or so in right-hander Mike Burrows.
15th start of the year for Burrows. Made 14 consecutive starts, then made an appearance out of the bullpen back into the rotation. Has not gone according to plan. Talking to some of the Houston personnel, they thought his arm might have been dropping quite a bit, leading to some flat pitches, getting him across the zone. So they're trying to raise that up for him to be more effective.
Now Springer, and that's a called strike. And it is 0-1 on George, hitting .227, 8 home runs. Springer, Lucas, and Guerrero here in the bottom of the first. And for the 3rd game in a row, Caleb, the Blue Jays give up 1 run. Just 1, but 1 run in the top of the first.
Playing from behind gets exhausting throughout the course of a season, even if it's just 1.
Fouled it off his foot or shin. And it is 1-2, and it hurts.
Pitch moving in towards inner part of the plate to Springer. Just out and around it just enough.
Three-team deal brought Burrows to Houston. He came from the Pirates. They're running a 6-man rotation right now, and he's guy number 6. They had a day off last time around, so they skipped him. He pitched once out of the bullpen, but at least for now, back in the rotation. This is off the end of the bat to right field, and Cam Smith is there, 1 down.
It'll be an even 5-pitch mix to the righties. 4-seam changeup, slider, curve, sinker. A little bit more compact versus the lefties. 4-seam cutter. He's got to mix and match. He's got to work ahead in the count, mix his pitches, and spot up to be effective.
1 down. Here's Nathan Lucas playing right field again, hitting in the 2 spot again, right at an even 300 on the season. Curveball for a strike. Lucas 367 over his last 32 games. The third baseman Delgado way in. The rest of the infielders backed up. And very high now. 2 balls and a strike. Blue Jays in the midst of this long homestand. They've got 4 with Texas beginning tomorrow night, and then 3 with Bo Bichette and the New York Mets taking this team up until Canada Day. Texas, by the way, lost earlier today, beaten by the Marlins for the 2nd day in a row. This is a homestand. Even though they're maybe not playing their cleanest, crispest baseball, this is a homestand, Caleb, where the Blue Jays should and need to win more than they lose.
Got to take advantage of those, quote, breaks, end quote, in the schedule.
This is hit in the air to right field and hit pretty well. Smith is back at the wall, jumps in, it's gone. Nathan Lucas with number 3 on the season to tie the game at 1.
That's exactly what you want to do. You want to answer back when your team gives one up in the first. He's been really handling right-handed pitching this year. His 11th extra base hit versus right-handers. He gets a mistake, a 4-seam right on the inner part of the plate. We've seen him be short and quick to that pitch before. He gets just enough of it to tie this game up.
Is Joe Espada asking for a crew chief review here? Bill Miller is the crew chief, coming in to talk to the home plate umpire Chad Whitson.
The call on the field is home run. This will be a crew chief review as far as whether or not there was fan interference.
Fan interference. So did a fan reach over the wall into the field of play is what the Astros are questioning. There's no downside. It's a crew chief review, so you don't lose your challenge. This video review is brought to you by Specsavers.
I think it's going to count. I think it's the gentleman in the blue and white.
That's a home run, right?
I don't think there's any way that ball continues to fall straight south and hit the top of the wall.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. It is a home run.
Nice.
New York not messing around tonight. That was a quick one.
Yeah, typically don't see quick ones like that, but it was a homer.
Can't blame Espada for trying. Again, no downside on a crew chief review, but it is a home run to tie the game. And here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And a swing and a miss at a slider just off the outside corner, 0-1. And then he runs a fastball in on him. And it gets him to ground out for out number 2.
Well, let's take a look at the Astros defense in the series finale here at Rogers Center. Lo Profito with that 3-run dagger yesterday in the 11th in left field. Matthews in center field and Cam Smith in right field. Going around the horn, Delgado, Pena, Altuve. Isaac Paredes is at first base. No Christian Walker getting the day off. Yainer Diaz back again behind the plate.
Now Kazuma Okamoto, and what a series he has had. 5 for 7 with 3 walks and 4 runs driven in. Had 3 hits and 2 walks yesterday. Had 2 hits, including a home run on Monday. He is up to 17 home runs, 49 RBIs, and that OPS is climbing near 800. Ooh, and he got a fastball up in the zone, fouled it straight back. 1-2.
Good hack. On time, out in front. The coil. I love his coil. I love that his hips just unload slightly before the hands. That's power.
He's done his best work against 4-seam fastballs too. And the narrative before we got to know him was, could he handle the consistent higher velocity in the majors than you see in Japan? He's handled 4-seam fastballs great.
Without problem. Been his strength. He's trying to force pitchers to throw him spin.
Changeup grounded down to third. And that'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays tie it on the Lucas home run. One more look. As Lucas hits his third of the season, got just enough to get it out of here to right. And at the end of an inning, it's all tied up at 1.
He was fighting off a little rust in the early goings. He was not at all happy with the way he put his team behind the 8 ball right from the get-go. Now, Bieber said that there were times during his outing where he felt great, and then there were other times in the outing where he felt that he just wasn't executing. He said pitch selection, in retrospect, could have been much better. If there was a silver lining, guys, Bieber liked the way his changeup was playing, but at the end of the day, he hated asking the bullpen to cover so many innings. So the starters, as you see, just need to go a little deeper in a ball game, Stan, in order to take a little bit of pressure off the relievers. Guys.
Hazel, thank you, which is what Trey Savage did last time out, 7 1/3 against Boston. But Bieber, 3 2/3, back-to-back home runs, 4 runs allowed. His first outing in a big league game in almost 8 months. And I certainly didn't get the feeling in John Schneider's office or elsewhere down there today like anybody is jumping to conclusions or panicking or anything like that. It's one outing, his first outing, and you hope that he can build on it, improve, get deeper into the game next time out.
He talked about him not being a stuff guy, and don't read so much into the stuff, into the radar gun, but more about location. And I agree with that. I also would like to see a little bit more crispness on the breaking balls, if I'm being honest, and I would like to see him locate and sequence a little bit better, and hopefully that first one was just to shake the rust off and he kind of settles in, because as you said, Dan, they absolutely need length. That was the hype around Bieber. Not that he's going to come back and be Cy Young Bieber and strike out 15 in his first outing. It's that he can provide length.
In your opinion, is when a guy's had a long layoff, is it harder for a finesse guy to come back than a stuff guy?
No question about it. It takes some time to recalibrate. Remember, he's getting his work done in the minor leagues. You're not really feeling those juices. You're not really going to a game plan. You're kind of guessing, maybe I need to throw this pitch in this count because I might face Isaac Paredes a week from now, and he might look for this. So you're constantly trying to get locked in, and that's what spring training does. You might not face 9 straight guys, but you'll face 4 or 5 big leaguers, and you get some locked in going.
A couple of guys hanging out with the boys here right now. That's Bowden Francis and Cody Ponce, of course, both out with injuries, but John Schneider said they wanted to give them a break from, quote, the monotony of rehab down in Florida. Good play by Urias to get Yainer Diaz. Bowden Francis is out for the year after elbow surgery. Cody Ponce is very likely out for the year after knee surgery. Cody Ponce was going to be a big part of this rotation this year and likely will next year. Bowden Francis obviously will have an opportunity to try to find his way back into a role, maybe a rotation spot with the Blue Jays. But there's nothing the boys like better than being around the boys, and the Blue Jays just decided, bring them up here, long homestand, get them around the guys so they're not forgotten, so that they can feel like they're part of the group.
No question. Being on major league rehab somewhere away from the team is lonely, and you get bored, and it becomes monotonous. You go to the park at 8 a.m. you're done by 10. You just kind of sit around. Sometimes you don't have your family with you. To get this opportunity experience, just to get back into it, feel a little bit of juices flowing is always good.
Have you ever seen Bowden Francis without a smile on his face?
Happy fella. Happy fella.
He is. 2 down for Savage here in the top of the second, and here's the center fielder and number 8 hitter for the Astros tonight, Bryce Matthews. who's got some weird numbers this year. He's hitting 108 at home and 286 on the road. Probably just a statistical fluke, but a bit strange.
Those are extremes.
Fastball at the knees, 2-1. There's the OPS, and even more extreme than the differences in the batting average. Better than a 500-point difference. Chased it, 2-2. That slider from Savage, which will go straight down, sometimes even a little in on the righties. Not your typical slider from a right-handed pitcher. And he struck him out. A very good splitter to get him, and a very good top of the second for Savage. One more look at his first strikeout of the night. Night he had 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, and Caleb, this home run to right.
It was huge. You've got to be able to pull the ball correctly. That was a changeup moving away from him. He met the contact point perfectly and was able to get backspin on it. He's starting to really look very solid in the plate as of late, especially with that pull side approach.
Remember, he hit a big home run, a 3-run shot at Wrigley Field last Saturday. We have seen a lot of extra base production from Varsho recently, as Burrows drops in a first pitch curveball for a strike. Nothing wrong with the 775 OPS. That is significantly above major league average. You look at the Blue Jay lineup, they've got a lot of guys in the 700s. A lot of guys, if you're talking about OPS plus or weighted runs created plus, 105, 110, 115. Ooh. He demolished it, but he demolished it foul into the 500 level. Is that being too quick, or is that swing path? What's that?
I think he was just a little bit fooled. That was a changeup, just a little bit more out in front. But I like the fact that he backspun it and was ready for it.
And now he pops one up for the first baseman, Paredes. One down. But the Blue Jay lineup is not being carried by one guy. Now, Okamoto has been very hot recently, obviously, and his OPS is up to 790. But it's not like 3-4 guys at the top are doing great. Nobody else is hitting. It's a lineup where most of the guys right now are doing pretty well. Valenzuela among them when he's in there. The one guy you'd love to see get going is the guy beside Valenzuela right now. Guerrero is still searching for it. If Guerrero can get going, it takes the lineup to a different level.
And then you add potentially Barger coming in the next week or two. Potentially that's a big stabilizing force, possibly behind Guerrero. The threat of power behind Guerrero, I think, is a real deal, a real thing. And look, Vladdy's feeling the weight. He's feeling the weight. You can just tell. You can tell a lot of things are going on, and he just needs to have a 4 or 5 game stretch where results are out of the picture. Take results out of it and have a process that's attainable. And he's talking to Edwin right there.
We see that a lot recently. Edwin Encarnacion has been around the team a lot, and when he's been around the team, he's been around Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And I love what he brings. Edwin is one of the smartest hitters I ever had to call pitches against, and having a game plan. And I think that's where Vladdy's at right now. My opinion is I think he's been able to get away with see-ball, hit ball because of his natural raw abilities. And now when you're going through a little bit of a scuffle, you start bringing in some minds in there and really hone in on your approach and what you're trying to do, what the pitcher's trying to do to you, and how you're going to counter that.
Kirk lines it to left field, but right at Loper Fido for the second out. Guerrero had, in my opinion, a very unusual day today in batting practice. He was on the field, which he usually isn't, but not the unusual part that he was on the field. What he appeared to be trying to do over and over and over. We'll wait till he comes up again and we have a little bit more time to talk about it, but it was not his typical BP session, and it screamed out to you. He's really trying to fix things, work on things, understanding that something's got to change.
He, to me, Dan, was trying to calibrate and keep it simple and start from the ground up, and I like what he was doing.
Davis Schneider gets a start in left field tonight. Schneider just 163 on the season, but since he's come back from AAA, 286, 6 for 21, and 4 of the 6 hits are for extra bases, 2 doubles, 2 homers. That's what you want to see from Schneider. You're not really worried about the batting average all that much. I mean, he would tell you he doesn't want it to be 163, but he can hit 230 and to be an effective player because of the walks and the power. Swings through a fastball, 2-2.
Had a couple barrels in Chicago that weren't just fly balls to infielders. They were deeper. Had one last night, hit a pretty deep fly ball, and those are good misses. When you're hitting fly balls where outfielders having to really run in, not very good, too much underneath, but when they're staying put or moving backwards, that's a good sign. He's getting close.
This one goes foul halfway up the line. Had it stayed fair, I think he had himself a base hit.
He was coming out of the box fast. But he's starting to level that swing out just from the eye test. Felt like he was underneath quite a bit before he got sent back down, and it seems like he's more on plane, and that's going to give him a better chance to really clip one out in front, put one in the seats.
Two again. And a swing and a miss as Burrows gets him to end the inning. End of 2 and tied at 1.
Well, it's Davis Schneider getting the start tonight, and not left-handed hitter Jesus Sanchez in left. Sanchez has had a few miscues defensively this season, and a few times already this homestand. He's been out early working hard with outfield coach Mark Budzinski. Now, Budzinski told me he would like to see Sanchez just trust himself a little more. Whatever his read is off the bat, just go. At times you can tell he's just not sure. You see a little bit of hesitation in his footwork, not confident which way he should move. Now, Budzinski says if he can trust his eyes, trust his read, be aggressive, and just go 100%, he believes he'll be okay. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. This is more, we've seen this. We saw it in Chicago, and we've seen it here. This is more one-on-one defensive instruction than you tend to see at the major league level. Mark Budzinski's been out there on a few different days with Jesus Sanchez. So let's start with the first point from Hazel in her story, reading the baseball. Can a guy who may have trouble reading the ball off the bat get better at that, especially like in the short term over the course of a few days, couple of weeks?
You can work on it every single day, and it depends on your preparation and work. How many times do you want to be in batting practice getting live reads off of a batter? I don't know if machines are going to do it. I think you got to really get out there and do it against live batters and get the curvature and really ramp up your intent during practice.
John Schneider was asked about a couple of plays recently where Dalton Varsho's had to go a long way for a ball in left center, in right center. And he's got a play here, but left center off the bat of Raynel Delgado for out number 1. And Schneider referenced the double from Yordan Alvarez last night in the 3rd inning. It was Varsho who got the closest to the ball, but Schneider said Sanchez was the only one who could have caught it. Varsho was just too far away. Now Sanchez didn't get there, and maybe there's a little bit of deferring to Varsho, but some balls have fallen in the outfield that shouldn't have fallen in, and on at least a couple of occasions, I mean, Varsho's had to run a mile to try to get a ball that didn't feel like a center fielder's ball.
And when he feels the other defender getting close, that's when you might see a little bit of hesitation. And that's trust as well, knowing your outfielders getting tons of repetitions, and a lot's being asked of Varsho in center field, but to have some familiarity out there is what's important.
Altuve reaches for one. Urias gets rid of it in a hurry and gets him by a step. 2 down. Nice play.
Urias has looked steady with the glove, made a really nice backhand play going to his right. Yesterday's game, I love that one-handed motion. You're out there, you're a fielder, you're there to catch the ball. Don't have to use that second hand to kind of gator it. Just get that one hand out there and snag it, get a grip, throw it to first.
Two down and the base is empty for Yordan Alvarez, who popped up to Kaz Okamoto on the first pitch he saw in the top of the first. Fastball misses away, ball one. Alvarez this year is hitting over 300 on fastballs, on breaking balls, and on off-speed pitches. And the problem for pitchers is that's all the kinds of pitches they have.
Anybody got an underarm Bugs Bunny pitch?
Outside, ball three. He has done the most damage in terms of the slug on a breaking balls and fastballs, the least amount on off-speed pitches, and the off-speed pitches include splitters, which is one of Savage's offerings, obviously. And Trey would not throw him a 3-0 fastball.
Yeah. At this point in the game, when you're tied, it's early, you still don't mind. I don't love 2-out walks, but you don't ever want to give in. I just throw your best pitch right here, strike the ball, and see if he can get him out in front.
And there's a fastball, and maybe Alvarez was thinking anything but, and it's 3-2.
And I think that was Kirk's reading him, fouling that 3-0 off. He was right on it. Good read by Kirk.
And there's ball four, and you can see a little bit of frustration there for Savage as he loses him. One interesting thing on the Savage Kirk dynamic, Trey will tell you he never shakes off Alejandro Kirk. Once in a while will shake off Valenzuela, a younger catcher, but never shakes off Kirk.
Said he liked throwing to both of them. They both really knew his game plan, and that's just younger guy respecting that veteran service time behind the plate.
Here's Jeremy Pena, and a swing and a miss, 0-1. Pena with the RBI double in the first. The ball hit into left center, a diving attempt by Schneider. Off his glove and kind of caromed towards center field, and Varsho had to double back a little bit to get it, and that allowed Pena to score from first. Sorry, Paredes with the hit to score Pena. That gave the Astros the 1-0 lead. The Blue Jays answered on the Lucas home run in the bottom half of the inning. 0-2, got in. That was a good splitter. Strikeout number 2 and a man left on, and the Blue Jays coming up.
Starting the game, well, that's up to you, the fans. Phase 2 voting begins on June 29th, so get ready to get those votes in to make sure your Blue Jays are represented when the American League takes the field on July 14th. And who knows, maybe we'll add some more memories to these historic installations here at the Rogers Center. Dan, Ernie has over 2 million votes in Phase 1 of voting. I think maybe he has a future running for office after he's done with this whole baseball thing.
It is unbelievable. The kind of support he has gotten, and again, he deserves to be in the lead, but Blue Jay fans are telling everybody who will listen what they think of Ernie Clement. He's got more votes than any player at any position in the American League. So I got to tell you, Caleb, I was given a job today when I got down to the ballpark. My wife asked me to go buy some hats for some kids, so I went on the 100 level and walked over to Jay's shop. And I'm not on the concourse, nor are you. We don't go on the concourse very much. And the ballpark hadn't opened yet. It was like 2:30, and there's like 6 or 7 of these displays. And I was hooked. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff there. As Jimenez hits a fly ball to fairly deep left center, but Matthews makes the play. There's stuff going back to 1977, the first year of Rogers Center, then Skydome 89, the All-Star game here in 91. I didn't realize the number and the extent and the detail of these displays. It was like a kind of a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, throwback to some nostalgic times, and I'm sure there's many fans here at Rogers Center that remember some of those times, remember certain places they were when some of those games might have been happening.
Luis Urias, the batter. Urias made his Blue Jay debut last night and went 2 for 5 with a home run. Here's another display. Well, this looks like this is last year. This is recent stuff. You can see the program from the World Series.
A champagne bottle.
Yeah. The Beasts of the East. Touch 'em all, George. Well done. Game 7 of the ALCS.
Kirky bat. Nice. And that's so fun for fans being able to go and even just looking at a major league lineup card and how it's written, how players are crossed out. You know, there's certain dots. The dots, if you go by that and you see the dots means that hitter ended an inning. And it constantly reminds the manager that they're in the right order when they go back up. Little things like this. What pitchers were used will be crossed out. That lineup card looks a little bit like ours. You get all kinds of different artifacts. If you're, look at that, looking at the lineup card, see those dots right there? That's end of innings. You got the relievers at the bottom. It's great. If you're a memorabilia person, check those out.
2-2 the count on Urias with the one out here in the bottom of the third. And he'll take the changeup down to run it full on Burrows. George Springer waiting on deck. Urias was hitting .361 at AAA with Arizona when the Blue Jays acquired him, and apparently had a big jump in bat speed this year, something that intrigues the analytics folks. And you always have to take PCL, Pacific Coast League, numbers with a grain of salt.
Especially Reno.
Right. There's altitude in a lot of places, but still 361 is 361. He can play second and third. The jump in the bat speed, the right-handed bat. I don't think they're expecting him to come in and be a middle-of-the-order guy, but a guy to start against lefties, occasionally against righties. Springer takes it high.
Yeah, when I played against some very good bat-to-ball skills, typically inside out, and had the occasional pop to left field, but really tried to kind of stay through the middle, controlled type of swings. And when you say bat speed going up, that means he's looking to do damage and do some intent.
2-0 on Springer. Hit a fly ball to right in the first. And a 2-0 slider in a great spot from Burrows to get a swing and a miss. You talk about strike to ball. That's what this pitch was.
And it's tight. It's late. See, it doesn't even look like it's moving that much, which is why you get a wild swing from Springer, but about 2 inches underneath the barrel.
Right back to the slider. Fouled off. 2-2. The days of you can count on getting a fastball when the pitcher is behind in the count are long gone.
They gone. There's no counts that are predictable whatsoever in this game.
Urias the lead. A long hold by Burrows, and the 2-2 fastball fouled back. Pete Walker keeping a close eye on the other team's pitcher too. Pete's got laser focus. He didn't blink that whole shot.
I know. Good grief.
Blink, Pete.
I want whatever he's having.
And a changeup for strike 3 called. Springer is challenging. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. And that's a strike. Got plenty of the bottom of the zone.
Toronto has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Blue Jays down to 1 challenge, and Springer strikes out. Two down, and here's Nathan Lucas, who homered to right in the first. then had to wait a little bit longer because the Astros asked for a crew chief review to see if there may have been fan interference. It was ruled there was not. Hits this one pretty well to the opposite field. Loperfido back, and he makes the catch. A very good running catch by Joey Loperfido to take a bid for an extra base hit away from his former teammate Nathan Lucas. Will it be Gavin McKenna who puts on a Maple Leaf jersey Friday night? Tune in to the 2026 NHL Draft Friday night at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Sportsnet. 1-1 tie, rubber match of this 3-game series. Top 4, this is Isaac Paredes. First pitch swinging, and he skies one to left center. It belongs to Varsho, 1 down. First pitch outs to the first batter of an inning must be about the favorite thing for a pitcher to have.
For sure. You feel like you can get aggressive with that second hitter. Typically want to take a pitch here and there. We've seen a couple back-to-back releases, though, in this season. 2 outs on 2 pitches. I doubt it. Fake one.
Challenge Alejandro Kirk.
The catcher's challenging the ball call.
Remember, the Blue Jays are down to 1. And a successful one.
Toronto retains the challenge.
So they've still got 1, and that's a strike on Loperfido. Joey showed bunt there on that first pitch, maybe just for show. That one's outside. Jimmy Garcia back with the team the last couple of days. They're still trying to figure out why he doesn't feel as good as he wants to feel in that right arm. I was told it's maybe a nerve issue that is causing some discomfort. He has pitched. He's pitched on rehab. Some have gone very well, some not so well. The velocity's been really good, then not so good. But they're still trying to solve the mystery, I guess, to see if he can get back.
John Schneider's saying they really want him to be able to go back-to-back, be able to recover well, just where with Jay's pin is at. Don't want to make a move until you know for sure Garcia can really bring what he needs to bring and go back-to-back, and no rush. There's no rush. Because love to have him because of his experience, but
what happens if, to get the roster spot, the corresponding move is you DFA somebody and you lose somebody, and 2 days later he can't pitch because the arm is acting up again, so they really have to be sure. I would love to know what that conversation is.
Looked like 2 seemed to split grip.
3-2, fouled back by Loperfido. Was on the IL for a while, but since he's come off has basically been playing on an everyday basis, certainly against right-handers. And he'll take it low, ball 4. Down to Hazel.
Encouraged and see mostly positive signs. Atkins says it is very complex, this biceps issue. The way the shoulder connects to the arm and all the nerves that are involved is an extremely complex problem, but they are quote unquote mostly positive when it comes to Jimmy Garcia. Dan.
You're not used to hearing somebody describe, certainly a general manager, describe a situation as an extremely complex problem, but Hazel's exactly right. That's what Ross Atkins said yesterday. So they've got to be sure. You want to see the results, but even more than the results, it's how does Garcia himself tell you he's feeling? If he is right, that would be a great arm to add to the back end of the bullpen. One on, one out, and a 1-1 count on Yainer Diaz. Trey Savage making his 12th start of the season, his 20th major league appearance, including last October. The lead by Loperfido being held on by Guerrero. And the 1-1 is hit hard down the left field line. It is foul into the seats.
Got to be careful with medium speed in the zone to Diaz. Look how tight he is. Flat bat across the zone, but just out in front. Medium speed is that 83, 84, 85. That last one 81, which is why he pulled it foul.
Now fastball up and in, 2-2.
I like that pitch. That's a good pitch. Got an opportunity to double up back there. Maybe see if you can get him up top, or now go underneath. Out of the zone.
Down and away, it's full. One of the views from out beyond the fence in right field, right down at field level in the corner. Let's see if Loperfido is on the move here. He starts and stops, and then it's bounced foul. I'm not sure. He might have slipped. I think he caught a cleat. I think he was going.
The way that he kind of kicked his foot right after that. Yep, you could tell just a bad first step, and that actually a really nice check down move. A lot of guys will just continue to go on, especially as a younger player, to be able to shut it down. But you take note of that on defense. Might switch your coverage up. You never know, especially with depending on what pitch is coming.
If you're the Astros, when you look at Savage, the splitter, I would think, is a pretty tough pitch to catch and throw, and maybe even the slider too. The fastball is a fastball, but does that maybe embolden the Astros to run a little bit more on Savage?
Absolutely.
There it started and stopped again, and it's hit up the middle. A base hit for Diaz. Loperfido stops at second.
Diaz just continues to stay hot. 2 for 4 with a home run yesterday. It's not a strike, just not giving in too much, just throwing the bat head out at that baseball. A lot of times Savage is trying to play off some aggressiveness. Wasn't able to take advantage of it there.
That's just the second hit off Savage, but Trey has walked 3 in this game, including Loperfido, the lead runner here in the 4th. So the Astros are threatening number 7 hitter Cam Smith. Lined out to center in the second. Throw down to first, and the ball will bounce away. Might have hit the foot or leg of the runner. Diaz getting back in there.
This is Vladdy's favorite play. Look at Diaz. He was on that foot, and if this throw is a little bit more on target, I think they might have him. Kirk getting out, but you could see that throw's low. Looks like it hits the leg of Diaz. Had it been waist high, Vladdy might have been able to slap it down on that foot. But it's a really great call from Vladdy. We see him do that from time to time. That's also when you're trying to bail your pitcher out from a long inning. You've got a runner in scoring position. You got a catcher. You can kind of bait him into that by your stance and how far off he is close to second base. See how far off Vladdy is, and then he and Kirk do that so well, communicating back and forth.
Three and one, and Savage fighting his command here now. We mentioned he's walked 3. In each of the last 2 batters, it went to a full count before the at-bat ended, and now it's 3-1 on Smith, so the pitch count is climbing. That's in there, 3-2. His mindset, as he told us a couple of days ago in the clubhouse, is just get it in the zone. Nothing else matters. Get it in the zone. Trust your stuff. Be on the attack.
And it was obvious in Boston he was doing that. Just trying to see if he can continue that when there are some balls put in play.
Got him to chase one down and away for out number 2.
Well, I really needed this downward and side-to-side action on the slider to get the whiff, and he absolutely gets it. Watch this thing go down and away, perfectly located.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code strikeout. And this has been a bit of a long inning, deep counts, and that's a signal for Alejandro Kirk to go out to the mound and slow it down.
Kirk has gotten so good at this over the years. It took 2 or 3 years to really understand how to slow the game down, and this is strategic. He knows this is a big at bat. He knows his pitcher has been grinding out there on the mound. Kirk's even digging his cleats off. This guy's a savvy vet. I mean, he doesn't look like this is intentional, but I promise you everything about this is intentional. The slow walk, this is how you manipulate timing of games. Back before the pitch clock, pitchers could do this by themselves, but now he's going to give a first and third. I mean, he's buying an extra 30 seconds after Chad Whitson came out and said, come on back here, buddy. He said, I'm just going to take my time with all these cool little things I got in my back pocket.
You only get 4 mound visits, so you got to, use them strategically. That is the first one used by Kirk here tonight. Here's Bryce Matthews, and he goes after a slider down below the knees. It's 0-1. And again, 0-2.
Love that mound visit. And the stuff starts to sharpen up just a little bit. That's the type of action you want right there. On the plate, it's a decision pitch. Gets the desired result.
Bounced it in. Ball 1. Tried the slider again, but into the dirt out in front of the plate.
Look how far out in front this ball, and look at him just pancake it. He doesn't try to close the mitt. That's something very unique to Alejandro Kirk. Most guys will try and squeeze it. Could deflect off the heel or toe of the glove. He just pancakes it and blocks it.
Two and 2. Two on, 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. A splitter up at the top of the zone, but it gets the job done. Strikeout number 4 for Savage, and he strands a couple of runners in the top of the 4th. Other way, hit the ball the other way, and then eventually they get the big power swing going, and Vladdy hits bombs all over the field. But he did this, Caleb, pitch after pitch, round after round, for maybe upwards of 30 pitches today. It seemed he was deliberately just trying to shoot a ball to right field over and over.
The way that his swing works, you've got to really get inside the baseball and then shoot it to right field. That sets up his path, and then to pull the baseball, he just has to continue rotating. He's trying to recalibrate. He's trying to re-lock in that swing. And when I played with Vladdy, he told me he looked at the TD sign in right center field. That big year he had 21, he had that in his mind. So he's going back to the basics, recalibrating, and trying to get back on track.
It did not work out in the first at bat. He swung and missed at a first pitch slider, then got jammed on a fastball and grounded out to short. Curveball a little bit high, and it's 1-1. Searching for it probably more than he ever has. Major leagues or minor leagues. Popped it up. And And it'll be the third baseman, Delgado, in foul territory. What'd you see on the swing?
Well, he's a little bit out in front, and obviously off the end of the bat, the weight was going a little bit more towards third base, and that's where you just, when you feel the timing of that ball traveling and getting to the hitting spot, watch that front hip fly out in front. See how he's reaching right there? That tells me he's got more time than he thinks, especially with the breaking pitch or off-speed pitch that was offered there. That's why he wants to go to right field, because to do everything correctly, to hit that ball on a line to right center field for Vladdy Guerrero Jr., then pulling the ball becomes easy. When his swing tries to start on the pull side, it throws all the contact points off. So when he can start hitting lasers to right center field, he's going to slowly get locked in. But you've got to, when you're in a phase like this, Dan, you've got to come up with some intangibles that you can control. Not a pitcher, you can't hit a pitcher's pitch. It's did I have a plan? Did I execute it? And something that I can control. That makes sense? Not just result based or result oriented. It's what was my plan? Did I execute it? And did I get my best swing off? If the answer to any of those three is no, you start over. You don't even worry about the result. So did he get his pitch? Not sure. Did he make his best swing? No. So you start over. You start the process all over again.
Okamoto will ground out 3 unassisted. I guess the confusing part for everybody, and probably Guerrero, this is not an average hitter. This is an elite hitter who has really been searching for it for a couple of months now. April was, end of March, April, very good. A couple of early home runs, hitting over 350 for a while. Yes, the power wasn't there earlier, but the line drives were, the base hits were, and even that has gone away now. And he's just so good, you don't expect it to last. Everybody goes through it, but you don't expect it to last nearly this long.
I think he's searching for power, and I think when he searches for power, that's when it gets all out of whack right now. I think he's got to go back to low line drives. Forget about the homers. We know that he hasn't hit a home run at Rogers Center in forever. Go back to something he has done in the past. Low liners to the opposite field, and then see how much you can stack up. Stacking wins is what David Popkins always talks about. He's got to have some of those swings to really start to build that confidence.
2 down and the base is empty. Dalton Varsho, the batter. Varsho lifts a fly ball to shallow right center field. It's going to drop. He did not hit that ball hard at all. I don't even know if he knew where it was, and look at that sheepish grin on his face.
He's out in front. Cue shot. It's a curveball. Just scissors it. Look straight up. Where's that ball? Where is it? Oh, where? Oh, there it is. Run, run. But you'll take it. It's a linea in the books right off the end. I mean, the spin on that ball was wild.
Here's Kirk. Check swing. Did not go. Ball 1. Kirk lined out to left in the second inning. Another bat that you know is going to get going. Too much of a good track record here. Kirk just recently back off a long stint on the IL. His best game since he came back was his first game. 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a double. Burrows out in front, 1-2.
Batter's challenging the strike ball.
Uh-oh.
Again, they've already lost 1. They've only got 1 remaining. And now they're out.
Pitch was a strike. Toronto is out of challenges.
Second time in this series the Blue Jays have been out of challenges way too early. The Blue Jays overall have not been a great ABS Challenge team this year. Good lead by Varsho, not going. And it's 2-2 on Kirk. Now full. In terms of their ABS success rate as hitters, they're at 48%, which is actually middle of the pack. Hitters do not do as well as catchers on challenging pitches. Runner will be on the move, and it's grounded to the right side. Varsho avoids it. Altuve bobbles it, makes the play, and the inning is over. End of 4, still tied at 1.
Welcome back to the Rogers Center. As part of the 50th season celebrations, Domer the Turtle has been lured out of hibernation and has been reacquainting with fans throughout the entire season. And tonight, the first 15,000 fans through the gates received this vintage style Domer hat to take home with them. Now, if you weren't one of the lucky fans who got this hat, you can come to Heinz Club 328, where there's a Domer statue that lives all season long. There's also an impressive wall of 50 years of Blue Jays baseball cards, and this exclusive spot has you right in the action, just steps away from right field. You can get up close and personal with Nathan LaLucas. So you can learn more by visiting bluejays.com/club328. This also has such a great view of that Lucas homer from earlier in this game, Dan. So if you were in Club 328 and you're a Nathan Lucas enthusiast, this was like the best night of your life.
Very cool. Thank you, Anna. It is 1-1 going to the top of the 5th. Trey Savage already tonight, Caleb, has thrown 37 sliders, not splitters, sliders in this game. The only game in his big league career in which he threw more sliders was Game 5 of the World Series. He threw 45 in that game. And for Savage, it does appear it changes start to start to start. Fastball, slider, splitter. He'll kind of ride the one that is working the best. That's a first pitch slider there that comes in low. The splitter gets so much of the talk, so much of the attention, but how important is the slider?
Especially when you're facing a team that you feel like can hit it.
Grounded to short, and Jimenez throws out Raynel Delgado.
So that could be lineup dependent. You want to kind of stay away from certain pitches, but not totally abandon the other one. And that's what Kirk does so well. Good hard mix and knows what's working and keeps at it.
And there's a conversation in the dugout after every inning.
After every inning. What you think about this? What you think about that? And what do you want to do here? How do you want to attack him this time?
Jose Altuve hits one right through the legs of Andres Jimenez. Well, you never see that. Hit it sharply, but right at him, but it handcuffed Jimenez. It just went off tipped off his glove and into left.
Just such a rare error for Jimenez. Leads all MLB shortstops in fielding percentage, 992. Typically the ball hit in any general vicinity of him. A sure out all season long.
So now Alvarez comes up with a man on. Alvarez popped up in the first and walked in the third. They play him way off the line on the left side of the infield. Okamoto's way over towards short. And we saw Alvarez on kind of a very defensive half swing on a Monday night, just kind of tick one up the third baseline for a base hit. Now that's not what he wants to do. He wants to hit the ball for power. As Savage gets out in front 0-2. But he does have a very flexible swing, adaptable swing where he can do different things.
And I think he decides if he feels like he can park a guy, he's going to try. I don't think he liked the matchup versus Rogers, so he just took what was given to him.
Next pitch will be number 80 for Savage. He's now working his way through the lineup for the third time. The numbers for him, and this is the case for many pitchers, significantly up for opposing hitters third time through the order. 1-2. Up and in.
I like this. This gives a lot of effect.
Dribbled, and Kirk's watching it. And that was interesting. If that ball had spun fair, Kirk was going to make a play on Alvarez, who wasn't really running. So Alejandro was sizing it up.
He got around the baseball, Dan, so he could see Alvarez, could see where he was at. He doesn't really know if he wants to get out of the box. He's kind of hanging around. Look at Kirk looking at Alvarez. He's going to let it go. Look at the cut on that baseball. This is off the cup of the bat. You'll be able to see the cut. Look at the cut of the baseball.
Yeah.
Spinning literally cuts the leather off of that baseball.
Another 2-2 and a swing and a miss to get him 2 down.
Was a big time strikeout, big league pitch sequence to a big league hitter. The effect pitch up and in allows him to go down and away soft. And sometimes when you can make a big time hitter like that move his head, you can get him down and away.
5th strikeout of the night for Savage. With 2 outs, he faces Jeremy Pena, who walked and scored in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd. 4 2/3, just 1 run on 2 hits allowed by Savage tonight. Top foul. Astros off to Detroit after this game tonight for 4 more on this road trip. They are 38 and 43. They are 2 games back of the Blue Jays for the 3rd and final wild card spot. Tampa Bay's in the 1st spot, Cleveland the 2nd, the Blue Jays 3rd. The A's and the Rangers both 1 game back. The Astros, the Twins, and the Orioles all 2 games back. There are 6 teams within 2 games of one another. A little bit low, and it's 3-1. There has not been a lot of separating from the pack in the middle of the American League. That is high, and it's the 4th walk given up by Savage, and that's what he wanted to stay away from tonight. He wanted to pound the zone, but it's kind of been hot and cold for him.
It hasn't been the hits that has created the traffic. It's been the base on balls, and he talked about just trusting his stuff and really getting in that zone and being hyper focused on being in the zone. But guess what kind of can scare you out of that is a little bit of hard contact here and there, especially to a veteran dangerous lineup, and that's what the Astros are doing to him.
So 2 on 2 out for Isaac Paredes. There's a called strike. 0-1. Paredes has driven in the only run of the night for Houston with that double to left center in the 1st. He'll use his timeout. Remember, we had that graphic up earlier in Hazel's story about the length the starters have really had trouble giving the Blue Jays this year, just not getting them deep enough into games. The bullpen having to work so hard. And here's Savage about to throw number 90 here in the 5th inning.
They had to use everybody yesterday but Varland and Woods Richardson, and so
and as is the case almost every game, there's a guy or 2 or maybe 3 who are down tonight. Even Bill Miller's smiling a little bit out there. One. Check swing. Didn't go. Ball 2. And Pete Walker on the phone. Crowd urging him on, trying to help Savage get out of this. He stranded a couple last inning, trying to do the same here. Two and two on Paredes. Fouled into the Blue Jay dugout. I think John Schneider had to go scrambling to get away from that. Too close for comfort, says the skipper.
Watch out, big fella.
Again, the 2-2. Outside, and it's full. Kirk reminding the infielders that means the runners will be moving. Tommy Nance just got up. Big pitch here for Savage. And a ground ball to short. Jimenez on to first, and Savage gets out of it again. He strands 2 more. It is still tied at 1. And we get an update now with Jamie Campbell.
Years ago, the Blue Jays won back-to-back World Series, and now you can have replica championship rings to call your own. Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of replica 1992 and 1993 World Series rings. Arrive early to witness the unveiling of the back-to-back statue honoring those landmark championships and to receive this unforgettable giveaway. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/tickets. Dan.
And a thank you, bottom 5. Davis Schneider will lead it off. 7-8-9 for the Blue Jays. Schneider, Andres Jimenez, and Luis Urias. Schneider struck out of the second. Getting a start again. If you're joining us late, getting a start against a righty. No Jesus Sanchez tonight. As once again, kind of saying it without saying it. Obviously, John Schneider thinking about not only the offense but the defense as well. Sky-high fly ball to left. Loperfido has room and makes the play on his good buddy Davis Schneider for out number 1. Just got under it. So Mike Burrows, who came in here with a 5.79 ERA and on even a more difficult run than that in recent outings, has given up just 1 run on 2 hits so far. What is it about him you think they're struggling with?
Well, he's got a little Walker Buehler in him, just the way he kind of lifts his leg, and I haven't seen any sort of side-to-side lazy movement, especially with the slider. It's what we had kind of tipped off before the game, that maybe that could be the case. Raising his arm back up, the stuff looks okay, and because he's got so many pitches, he's thrown 5 of them in this game and carrying a pretty decent fastball, 95 the average on that. Then you got a good downer slider, and locating, you can start to do some things, but been roughed up. Came into this game 3-8.
A game that, without question, the Blue Jays felt they should have won last night. Had opportunities. Now the Astros did as well. Both teams let opportunities go by, but in the end, the Loperfido home run, the difference. Houston wins it. So this is the rubber match of the series. Line foul right side. 2-2 on Jimenez. Bernie Clement not in the lineup tonight. Again, a bit of a persistent left hip issue that everybody is saying is minor. They're just managing it a bit. They want him in the lineup against a lefty, Mackenzie Gore, tomorrow night. This is lifted to shallow center. Out number 2.
Get ready for epic action on the big screen this summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcott and Jason Momoa, in theaters June 26th.
With the roof open here at Rogers Center, the final game of this series. Dan Schulman, Caleb Joseph, Hazel May, and Adua. It is 1-1 bottom 5 for Luis Urias. Urias, 29 years of age, from Mexico, parts of 8 years in the big leagues with San Diego, Milwaukee, Boston, Seattle, the A's, and now the Blue Jays. His best year, 2021, hit 23 homers, drove in 75 with the Brewers. Fouls it back, 0-2. Changeup. He did well to get a piece of it.
That's what I remember seeing with Urias, with a 2-strike count, just really kind of cut back and try and shoot that ball to the opposite field. They're giving him a big hole over there on the right side.
As you saw, a low strikeout rate last year in his time with the A's, a very low strikeout rate at AAA this year.
Was so good at blocking fastballs on the inner half, meaning let him get deep, hold the angle, and shoot him to right field, much like we see Kirk do from time to time, and stay back and blister a breaking ball up the middle.
Bouncer to third. Delgado throws him out, and Burrows sets down the Blue Jays in order, so this game is still tied. Including the postseason, his high is 104. That was game 5 in the World Series against the Dodgers. His old teammate Joey Loperfido is going to lead off the 6th. Loperfido a ground out and a walk so far. Tommy Nance still up in the pen. And a fastball sent foul left side, 0-1. It's the guy you root for. You want to see him do well, get a chance to play. We saw it in spurts with the Blue Jays, had some hot streaks. Got sent down, got called back up.
Sent down when he was hitting too.
Yeah.
He was really using that opposite field stroke. A couple pretty big hits for the Jays.
Ground ball down to first. Guerrero backhands and feeds you Savage for the out. Well, one thing Trey has done very well tonight, he's gotten the first batter in all 6 innings.
Just continuing to get right back in the zone with that north-south approach. Wondered if they might go to Nance here, but they're going to stick with you Savage.
And again, he's only given up 2 hits in the game.
Right. It's the walks that create the traffic,
Right.
and it makes it feel more intense, but some of it's self-inflicted.
But anytime your starter pitches into the 6th and he's only given up 1 run, you're getting a good outing here.
He's bent. He hasn't broken for sure.
Yainer Diaz has 1 of those 2 hits.
Hey, look, it's going to be hard to throw 7 1/3 every single time. But I'm sure he feels like if I didn't walk some of these guys and put myself in some of these positions, I could have gone even deeper.
A new regular season high in pitches now for you Savage at 99. To left, Schneider has it. 2 down.
This might be one of the advantages of him starting on the IL, pushing some of this workload back. Maybe they feel like they could extend him just a little bit. Man, the bullpen needs it. It just needs it desperately. Every out counts out there.
They were in a long stretch of days without an off day, games without an off day. 4 more against Texas, then 3 with the Mets before they get their next off day. A good slider there, swung on and missed by Cam Smith. Taken low. Fastball misses away. It's 2-1. Clearly batter to batter right now. John Schneider giving him a chance to get through 6. Down and in. Good job by Smith not to go after that one. It's 3-1. Ball 4, and you could see the frustration from Savage there after walk number 5, and the next walk is being taken by the manager. Gave him a chance to get through 6, but a base runner and the pitch count signal the end of the night for Savage. A lot of good in this start, but a lot still to work on to try to get the command where he wants it to get. But 5 2/3, 1 run allowed. The runner at first, his responsibility, and a big warm ovation coming for Yesavage here at Rogers Center. Well, tomorrow night we will have the Blue Jays and Rangers for you on Sportsnet, but on Sportsnet 1 it will be the Yankees and the Red Sox with Cam Schlittler on the mound for the Yankees, who are the leaders in the division, and they're leading the Tigers in their game tonight 4-2 in the 8th inning. Here it's a 1-1 tie, and here's Tommy Nance. A runner at first, 2 down, and the number 8 hitter Bryce Matthews, the batter for Houston. Runner goes. Throw down by Kirk, not in time. A stolen base for Smith. They were not waiting around, and that tells you the information they have on Tommy Nance is that he can be run on.
It's so obvious that they were going to go no matter what. They knew that he was probably going to be around 1-5, and there's no catcher in the big leagues going to throw that runner out with that type of slow delivery to the plate.
One and one. Nance went an inning and a third in last night's game. Faced 4 batters, retired all of them through 17 pitches.
When teams have that on your pitcher, they will go first pitch as to not bury the hitter in the count, not wait around until he gets 1 strike or 1-1 count. They want to go first pitch to then give that hitter multiple chances with that runner in scoring position. That's advanced scouting, knowing, hey, if this guy's on, we're going to run first pitch.
Grounded down to third, scooped up by Okamoto, and Nance gets his man. To the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 1. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit this inning, you could win exclusive 50th season prizes. Tied at 1 here between the Astros and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays need a win to get back to the 500 mark and take some momentum into their series with Texas that begins tomorrow night. Each team with just a run on 2 hits. As George Springer leads it off bottom 6, Springer, Lucas, and Guerrero, with Mike Burrows still on the mound for Houston. No activity at the moment in the Astros pen. Just inside. No check swing appeal, no ABS challenge. It's ball 1. Ball 2. Springer has chased a lot less the last couple of weeks. A big reason why he has been so much more successful recently, has been much more selective. But went after that one. Again, that slider that looks like it's on the outside corner, but it winds up a few inches outside.
So what Burrows is doing, he's starting every hitter kind of in the middle of the zone. He's getting ahead because they're fouling these pitches off, and then he's starting to work the edges. So a lot of these pitches in the middle are being fouled off, and it's kind of the one you want. Typically you might just get 1 pitch in AB. He's giving it early and often. He's trying to get ahead. That's been his MO. Get ahead and then start to expand.
3-2. And it's on the corner for strike 3 called. Springer didn't like it. Remember, the Blue Jays are out of challenges. It might have caught the corner. Springer with a couple of words for Chad Whitson, the home plate umpire, as he makes his way back to the dugout.
2 called strikes. First one was challenged, didn't like it. Just another really hard 89. Looks like it clips the corner. Springer just frustrated, thinking he took. Then I would challenge it.
So now Nathan Lucas, who is responsible for the only run the Blue Jays have tonight, the home run way back in the 1st. Got a good look at another curveball and took that one low as well. 3-0. And he'll look at a strike. 3-1. With activity now in the Houston pens. Steven Okert is up. Okert worked a scoreless inning in last night's game. Lucas with a fly ball to right field on what looked like it was ball 4. Went down to go after that changeup. Out number 2, and that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0 for 2 tonight. And a strange one. This goes back a calendar year, Caleb, and the numbers significantly better away from Rogers Center.
And he typically likes to hit here at Rogers Center. I just think there's stress. I really believe there's stress involved here, and he feels the fans want him to get it done. And guarantee you that home run drought here at Rogers Center is looming, and can't imagine the pressure he feels with the contract, just the fans wanting him to do it, knowing his team needs him to do it.
And a couple of fastballs in for strikes. Line drive right field, but caught by Smith. And the inning is over.
Jays Care Canada Day jackpot ends in 1 week, and the take-home prize is over $715,000, and that number is projected to surpass $1.5 million by the July 1st draw date. Plus, this Sunday you could win a Muskoka getaway or a golf trip to Cabot Cliffs. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get tickets from New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Ontario, or Alberta. How's your golf game, Dan?
Terrible.
Oh.
Non-existent.
Gonna change that.
No. Many have tried. None have succeeded. Anna, if you want to talk golf, the guy sitting to my right is the man to talk to.
What a frustrating game.
Oh, come on.
You'd think hitting balls that are coming at you at 95 golf would be easy because it's stationary, but it's not. It's frustrating.
When Buck and I met in 1995, and he said, you know, this is this new job you have. You should take up golf. There's time during the day and on the road and this and that. And I took a couple of lessons, and he got us a couple of rounds on the road, and we went out and played 3 or 4 times. And after about the 4th time, he said, no, you should quit.
Oh, no.
Swear to God.
My new life's mission.
No.
Make you play.
Caleb,
make you play.
You don't need the aggravation. It's not worth it.
What?
Let it go.
At least once for the laughs. At least once for the laughs.
I won't be laughing.
Do you have a big, like, do you top the golf ball, or can you get it in the air? Like, what is it?
It's a variety of issues.
Oh.
I'm feeling for it. I'm searching.
Hey, we got to get your A swing off on the golf course, man.
Good curveball from Nance to get Delgado.
I bet you keep a really nice scorecard, though.
Scorecard's pretty good.
Guarantee it.
I'll caddy for you. How about that?
Love it.
You get to play. I don't have to.
Love it.
1 down, top 7 tied at 1, and top of the order, Jose Altuve. What did you think about when you were catching and this man walked to the plate?
Limit damage, take a single, keep away early, crowd late, but in a 1-1 game, I just keep away, make him try and hit the ball to right field. But if he starts reaching out over and he's able to cover that left-handed batter's box, then you got to try and do something on the inner half.
Jeff Hoffman and Mason Fluharty. With Yordan Alvarez on deck. So they could make the move to Fluharty to face Alvarez, but say Altuve doubles, you're just putting Alvarez on, and then you're bringing in Hoffman to face the righties behind him. That's why you got 2 guys up at the same time.
Double barrel.
Yeah, it depends if you will pitch to Alvarez, and that is situational. Wow. Talk about not getting cheated. That is some kind of hack.
And he's thinking yard. He's thinking yard right now. He typically tries to go pull side. Look at him try and pull those hands in to pull that baseball with that scissor cut across type of swing. That back leg cutting back towards the Jays dugout gives him direction. He's something else, man. He's a 101 for sure.
The 1-2 from Nance. Up the middle, Urias to his right. The throw right on the money. 2 down. And here comes John Schneider. Let's see which arm it is. Ooh, it's the righty. Was that the right arm? Looks like he wants Hoffman, who could still put Alvarez on and then pitch to the 2 righties.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, we will see how it unfolds. A good job by Tommy Nance. So much of the strategy based around this guy, Yordan Alvarez. Well, the wheels are turning here in this one. Jeff Hoffman is in a 1-1 tie, top of the 7th. 2 outs with the bases empty, and they have just put Yordan Alvarez on. So that will count as one of the batters faced by Hoffman when you're thinking about the 3-batter minimum. So Schneider made the move to the righty knowing he just doesn't want to mess with Alvarez. The plan all along was for Hoffman to fail. The plan all along was for whoever came in to pitch around Alvarez if possible, but especially if it were Hoffman. So now he'll face Pena with a man on. No issues at all with this move.
Oh,
right?
no, heck no. No. 44 is not beating me if I'm the manager. And take your chances with Pena. Alvarez does not run particularly well. Probably get away with a double off the wall, still keeping him at 3rd.
And a slider grounded to short. And Hoffman gets one big out on one pitch. And it's time for the 7th inning stretch.
Kazuma Okamoto has been heating up this month, and now it's time to rep the Jays' 3rd baseman. On Monday, July 20th, the first 15,000 fans will take home a Kazuma Okamoto t-shirt. It's the perfect way to celebrate the Blue Jays' Japanese slugger. Secure your tickets at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan?
And a thank you. Here come the Blue Jays, bottom 7, tied at 1. New pitcher for the Astros, lefty Steven Okert, who worked a scoreless inning last night, although he did give up a couple of hits. Gave up a Varsho double and a Springer single. Now his inning was spread over 2 innings, if you will. The Varsho double came in the 5th. The Springer single came in the 6th. Okert 16 consecutive scoreless innings. Okamoto, Varsho, and Kirk here bottom 7. Inside 2-1 on Okamoto, who is 0 for 2 on a couple of groundouts.
Lots of sliders from Okert. 2 out of every 3 will be that slider.
And not the A's swing there from Okamoto. Got fooled, and it's 2-2.
Don't see many lefty relievers throwing the same off-speed pitch to both left and right-handers, but it's an even split for him.
And he got him another slider to get Okamoto.
Hit a grand slam with your next project and head to your local Home Hardware. With over 1,000 locations across Canada, Home Hardware is locally owned, genuinely Canadian.
Heading towards nightfall here in downtown Toronto. 1-1 bottom 7. Here's Varsho, who again had a double off Okert last night. 1 for 2 tonight. That little chip shot off the end of the bat that nobody knew where it was, and it fell in shallow right center. Couple of fastballs, and it's 0-2. As you said, about 2/3 of his pitches are sliders, and now he's thrown 2 fastballs in a row to Varsho. Got him on that one. That missed just outside.
This is the cat and mouse game when you're facing a reliever multiple times in a 3-game series, especially when he has a hit or a double, excuse me, off of you the previous night.
slider fouled off. A couple of former Astros, George Springer, Miles Straw. Up high with another slider, 2-2. $39,264 tonight. Another big crowd. Fouled back. That one was way in on the hands of Varsho. Over 120,000 fans here in this three-game series. Bounce to the left side. Is going to sneak through between Delgado and Pena. Second hit of the night for Varsho.
We've seen from time to time Varsho will go to the opposite field. I gotta think he was trying to defend against that slider on the outer half. Tried to go fastballs on the outer half early in the game. Just lets it get deep. Look at him get over that baseball. That allows that ball to scoot through. And because of the Astros defensive alignment, he's able to scoot one through. Ernie loves it. Yeah. Good boy.
Here's Alejandro Kirk. Big swing and a miss at a first pitch slider. Kirk 0 for 2. Schneider on deck. The Blue Jays looking for the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Popped him up. And in foul territory, it'll be Delgado for the second out. And Kirk now 0 for 3. Still trying to get back in the groove. Here's Schneider 0 for 2 on a strikeout and a fly ball. Just 5 hits in this game. 2 for the Astros and 3 for the Blue Jays. And 2 of the 3 are those Varsho hits we were talking about, not hard hit balls. The other, the Lucas home run.
I like this matchup. I got a gut feeling. I don't know. It's something about the way that Okert's slider moves. Schneider's been more behind the baseball, not underneath it. He's crowding the plate a little bit more.
Runner goes. Pitch is taken. Throw down. Not in time. Did Altuve tell the dugout to have a look? Did he swipe tag Varsho? "15 seconds. No challenge. Stolen base number 7 on the season for Varsho. He has not been caught.
Whoa. Move that backhand close to the body, avoiding the tag. Nifty.
Now a fastball in there, and it's 1-1. Swings through a fastball, 1-2. Does his fastball play up because of deception, or is it all those sliders that make the fastball seem faster than it is?
I think when hitters know they're going to face Oker, they're going up there knowing the numbers that we just alluded to, and they're probably sitting soft. And when you're sitting soft and you get a pitch down the middle that does have a little bit of velo on it, it feels harder than it is when you're sitting for the slow stuff.
And he got under it and lifts a fly ball to shallow center field. And that is out number 3. End of 7, tied at 1, and time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker.
Summertime is here, and there's nowhere better to be than the ballpark. With the roof open, the sun shining, now's the time to come down to Rogers Center and see your Blue Jays in action. Secure your seats today at bluejays.com/tickets. Dan?
Anna, thank you very much. Well, which team is going to find a way to score another run? Each team scored a run in the first, and that is all tonight. This game now top 8. Jeff Hoffman back on the mound. First batter for the Astros, Isaac Paredes. Paredes has driven in the only Astros run tonight on the double way back in the first. Slider down and in the dirt, 2-0. With Mason Fluharty up in the pen and the left-hand hitting Joey Loperfido on deck. And this is the third batter for Hoffman, so John Schneider could make a move after this at bat if he wanted to. Fastball in there, 2-1. Sometimes the strategy with the intentional walk, going back to Alvarez, is not only who are you intentionally walking, but when are you intentionally walking a guy. You can get a batter out of the way if you want to line things up a certain way. Slider over the inner half for a strike, 2-2.
Astros have Christian Walker on the bench if they'd like. Got some power in the bat. Random night off for him. Vasquez, Myers, right-handed hitters if they want to switch if Fluharty does come in.
Good slider to get him, 1 down.
I'll tell you, when Hoffman gets that slider to the glove side and it's not backing up, it typically has north-south action. Look at that thing just drop straight down at 88 and that tight spin. You're going to get a really wild swing from Isaac Paredes. Swing like that from a veteran hitter tells me that spin was tight and very deceptive.
Hoffman will stay to face Loperfido. Strike 1 called. Loperfido tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. Again, that big 3-run home run in the 11th inning last night that gave the Astros the win. Driven to center field, well hit. Varsho back, off the wall. He's got to come get it. Loperfido around second. And into third with a triple. Varsho gave it all he had. It was just hit too hard. And the Blue Jays fortunate this ball didn't go out of the ballpark.
It's a split that carries the zone, and I like Varsho's effort going into that wall. That ball just kept carrying on Hoffman. Tried to go back-to-back with the splitter. It just looks like at the last second. Look at the indention in the wall. He hit that thing full speed.
And now the infield in for the Blue Jays with Loperfido just 90 feet away. The batter is Yainer Diaz. And this is where you're really hoping that Jeff Hoffman can pick up a strikeout. Even with the struggles Hoffman has had this year, he gets about as much swing and miss as any pitcher in baseball. Looking for a big strikeout here. Throw to third, and he threw it by Okamoto. And the run comes in to score. A throwing error on Jeff Hoffman has given the Astros a 2-1 lead.
This is a play you rarely see right-hander picking to third base, and right after Hoffman threw it, he looked at Kirk as if Okamoto totally doesn't get the play. Okamoto was looking in to the batter. Had he been looking at Hoffman, he would have easily secured that. Miscommunication somewhere along the lines. Typically a called play. Now that they have the transmitters, you can hear it through the ball cap, but wires got crossed up somewhere there.
And it's given Houston the lead here in the 8th inning. fastball, strike 3 called. So there's the strikeout. There's the second out, but the run is in already. Meanwhile, Dalton Varsho hit that wall hard, and he is tough as nails, as we know, and hopefully he is all right. But it looked like, I mean, he crashed in there pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he was full speed.
Yeah. 2 out. Here's Cam Smith.
I kept looking at that right elbow. That was the first point of contact on that wall as he was reaching up with his glove hand, the left hand.
And now a high drive to left center field. Varsho back, but he's got room. And makes the play, but the triple and the error on the pickoff attempt at third, and Houston has the lead.
Last season gave us memories that last a lifetime. Where will you be for the next big moment? 2027 full season ticket memberships are now on sale. Be here for every moment and lock in postseason access exclusively as a season ticket membership. Dan?
And a thank you. You are looking at Ernie Clement, who is coming off the bench to pinch hit for Andres Jimenez to begin the bottom of the 8th, because there's a new lefty on the mound now for Houston. Brian King, who worked in the first game of this series on a Monday night. You hear the big ovation for Clement, not starting tonight because of just kind of a lingering hip issue, and they know they want him in the starting lineup with a lefty on the mound for the Rangers tomorrow night. Down and away, ball 1. So it'll be Clement, Urias, and Springer, with the Blue Jays now trailing. And he hits it pretty well to left field, but Loper Fido will make the catch on the track down to Hazel.
Dan, John Schneider described Urias as a really good contact hitter and one that controls the zone really well. And there is a little bit of an uptick in the swing speed, which was something the Blue Jays really looked at when he was in AAA Reno. He's just a versatile guy that fits in well with how we're built. Dan.
Thank you, Hazel. And a home run in his Blue Jay debut last night. Again, figures to get most of his playing time against lefties. A walk and a ground out tonight after going 2 for 5 last night. Out in front, 0-2. Mason Fluharty and Louis Varland, both up in the bullpen. A team in the Astros that are behind the Blue Jays in the standings. A gettable game last night that they did not get, and now trailing here in this one. This is an important homestand because they're playing teams who are kind of around them in the standings, in the Astros and the Rangers, and they're playing teams that, Caleb, if they want to be a postseason team this year, they got to win these series.
Never love thinking you've given one away, much less 2. These are the type of flip games and swing games that the Blue Jays have given away from time to time, and there's probably been 7 to 10 of these type of games that if they were able to really sneak one out, they could be in a totally different position, considering how jammed up the AL is. And I'm not going to say scared, because I'm still hopeful for this team, but it's what kind of gives me a little bit of uneasiness that some of these games are slipping away. At this point last year, they were able to take hold of these games and really start to build some momentum, get on a run.
And they are very fortunate that not a lot of teams in the American League have put together winning streaks. They are actually in the 3rd wild card spot right now, despite being a game under 500. But at some point, a couple of these teams are going to heat up.
And it's not jumping out, Dan, and scoring 20 runs. It's 10 games in a row. It's taking advantage of some of these type games, the tight ones, the ones where you could go one way or the other. We're not going to have the ability to stretch 7 to 10 games in a row where you're just totally dominant.
And a base hit through the left side for Urias.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
So here's George Springer, and George would love to be able to do something here. Remember, he was up in last night's game in the 10th inning with the winning run at third and 1 out, trying to hit a fly ball, but he grounded out to short. They didn't get the run home in the 10th, and Loperfido hit the home run in the 11th. Not that that is necessarily on his mind right now, but 24 hours later, he would love to do something big for his team. That one will get past Diaz somehow. Well, that looked like a ball that should have been caught, but it gives the Blue Jays an extra 90 feet. Urias to second.
So this is exactly what we're talking about. Can you take advantage of some of these opportunities? This ball is yanked from King. Could not turn it over. Had that glove turned over to get underneath to frame and tried to half moon it, half turn it, but it was by him before he could get fully there.
So now Diaz goes to the mound. You don't really have cross-ups anymore with pitch count, but maybe it's possible that happened. Who knows what they're talking about? They also may be talking about, hey, there's a runner out at second right now. Make sure you don't give anything away. Crowd getting a little bit noisier. Miles Straw is on deck now to pinch hit for Nathan Lucas. John Schneider knows there's nobody up in the bullpen. It'll be a lefty on the mound in King, so he's got Straw ready to go after Springer. Now the 1-1. Just outside, challenge coming.
The catcher is challenging the ball call.
So it's 2-1, and the Astros now down to 1. Blue Jays are out of challenges. Hit well to right. Going back, Smith jumps, and he made the catch. And they're going to double off Urias at second. A spectacular catch in the right field corner by Cam Smith. And then they double off the runner to end the inning. He had to leap. He squeezed it and back into the infield. What a play by Smith. And another opportunity gone by the wayside for the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays had Urias at second with 1 out. Springer hits the ball to deep right field. Walk us through this.
It's just a flat-out base running mistake. Urias has got to travel, and then when he sees it secured, then go back. But he made a quick decision. He thought he might have lost the ball in the wall, and that's a mistake in that you have got to make sure that you see that ball secured or bobbled. If it's loose, Dan, then you walk home, because Smith is going to leave his feet. That ball's going to carry him all which way. You can walk in, but you cannot get doubled up in that situation under no circumstances, because then you go back to second base. Now you've got a shot with 2 outs with the runner in scoring position. These are things you learn in A-ball, and I hate to be brutal about it, but these are things you learn in A-ball that have plagued the Blue Jays time and time again throughout this season. You keep looking at the right fielder. You travel. Every step that he goes back towards the wall, you take another one. He goes back, you take another one. He catches it, you go back. He drops it, you walk home. It's simple stuff. There's no excuse for it. I hate to be brutal about it, but there's no excuse for it.
Clement remains in the game at short. So in the top half of the inning, some kind of miscommunication on the pickoff attempt at third. We can't know for certain what it was, but that gave the Astros a run. And then in the bottom half, a base running mistake. And we've talked about this so much. When you're hitting, the little things can be hidden, can be overcome. When you're not hitting, makes it tough to win.
Offense can cover a multitude of sins, but if you want to go back to the World Series with or without hitting, you got to make those type of plays.
Full count now on Matthews, the first batter for Fluharty here at the top of the 9th. Delgado's on deck, then the top of the order, Altuve. And now they know they got to deal with Josh Hader in the bottom of the 9th, who has been virtually unhittable since coming off the IL. Ball 4. Let's go to Hazel.
Dan, when you have multiple chances to win a ball game like the Blue Jays had last night, John Schneider said the level of frustration is far greater than when you're losing 16-2. He said it's definitely not for lack of effort or compete, but you want guys to execute. He said it's so frustrating when you feel like you have a game in hand and just didn't get it done. So we've seen a few missed opportunities again tonight, Dan.
Absolutely. Hazel, thank you. Delgado gets a bunt down. Fluharty will play it to first. Sacrifice for Delgado. Matthews to second. So the Astros trying to add on an insurance run here in the top half of the 9th inning. Fluharty now to face Altuve. Altuve tonight is 0 for 4 as he takes down and in ball 1. And ball 2, just a little bit up and away. The Blue Jays will have Lucas, Guerrero, and Okamoto in the bottom of the 9th, but very likely to see Miles Straw hit for Lucas with Hader coming in. 3-0. Inside, ball 4. So 2 walks given up here in the inning by Fluharty.
You see how the momentum just shifted right back into the Houston Astros dugout. Now, don't get me wrong, that was an amazing play by Cam Smith, but you still keep them under pressure if you make the right decision on the bases. And now, before you know it, 44 is up to bat to extend this and try and put this game out of reach.
With a couple of men on here, he is 0 for 2 with a couple of walks tonight, one of them intentional. He is otherworldly this year against righties. He is still very dangerous against lefties. On the season against lefties, hitting .299, 8 home runs, and an OPS of .959. Ground ball to short. Clement. They get it to Urias for 1, but there was no opportunity to turn 2 there because Urias was too far away from second base for a quick turn and a double play. So it's a fielder's choice, first and third, 2 down.
Ball is right at Clement, and he's just got to wait. See, looking. And typically the infielders are positioned perfectly for those types of plays, but Urias had to really be over there for the spray chart to be covered.
So now first and third, 2 down. You got to face Jeremy Pena. Blue Jays bullpen is up again. Simeon, Woods, Richardson is throwing. Miles, Fisher, Rogers all seemingly down tonight. And obviously John Schneider telling us he doesn't want to use Louis Varland in a game in which they are trailing right now. Woods Richardson just got up, so Fluharty's got Pena and maybe even one more if it gets past it. Try to get out of this situation, keep the deficit at 1. And Fluharty is struggling to find the strike zone. A 3-0 count. And a green light. And a slow chopper. Clement's got to hurry. Safe at first is Pena, and the run comes in to score. An infield hit and an RBI for Jeremy Pena, who runs very well, and it is 3-1 Astros.
The combination of speed of the ball, speed of the runner. Ernie Clement just checking in. Tried to backhand quick exchange flip. It's all over the hands of Pena. Watch him try and backhand exchange flip. You don't really want to try and run the risk of a bare hand because that run at third is so important, but it might have been his only shot. Not even sure a throw on the money might have got him, but he's frustrated. These types of things happen. This is what happens when you make a mistake at third base. You don't make the right base running. I've seen this 100 times in the big leagues. Their margins are so small for this team, especially when you're not hitting, that you have to play almost perfectly. And guess what? It gets exhausting. And so ultimately this is on the offense. But you got to make the plays. These are self-inflicted plays.
And another problem is the walks as a staff are really up lately. They had a couple of games where they walked a lot of guys in Chicago. Here's a ground ball to third. Okamoto to Urias. That'll retire the side. But an add-on run for the Astros and a 2-run deficit for the Blue Jays coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Guys, thank you. Bottom of the 9th inning. It is 3-1 Houston. The Blue Jays in jeopardy of losing this series here to a team behind them in the standings, unless they can find a way to get at least 2 off Josh Hader.
Hitters altogether this season just 2 for 29. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. Sinker at 67% of the time, slider at 34% of the time. It's a slinging, gunslinging type approach. He's elite. You got to hope to get a mistake and move it forward.
Jake Myers has come into the game to play center now for the Astros. Bryce Matthews over to left. Joey Loperfido out of the game. Miles Straw pinch hitting for Nathan Lucas. With Guerrero on deck and Okamoto behind him. A strike, 1-1. Straw's game plan in this situation obvious. Just try to get on base any which way you can. Bouncer back to Hader for the first out. A very quiet night for the offense. A run on 4 hits. The Lucas home run providing the only run of the night. Now Hader to face Guerrero, who is 0 for 3. Hader falls behind 2-0. Ball 3, not close, and he wants a new baseball. Okamoto on deck. That's ball 4. Missed inside. Guerrero draws the walk, and that's going to bring the tying run to the plate. And a quick chance to tell you we're back with you tomorrow. A new series begins for the Blue Jays, a 4-game series with the Texas Rangers. Kevin Gausman will be on the mound. Blue Jays Central at 6:30 Eastern, first pitch at 7:07. So here is Okamoto representing the tying run. Red hot coming into the game, hitting for a ton of power. 0 for 3 tonight. This one's going to get out of play, and it's 0-2. A 1-1 game at the end of 7. But the Astros got a run in the 8th on a triple and a throwing error, maybe a miscommunication on a pickoff play, added a run in the 9th. A couple of walks early on in the inning with Fluharty on the mound, eventually leading to that run. There wasn't hard contact or anything, but there were base runners. And it's 3-1 bottom 9. Swing and a miss. Nasty slider. 2 down.
He got a slider on the second pitch of the AB, that I think that's the one he wants when he looks back, because then once you get to 2 strikes, there comes the devastating one right there. That slinging type motion is just devastating. Looks like it's coming out of the left-handed batter's box, then darting down in middle.
So it's Dalton Varsho with 2 outs. Had a hack at it, fouled it back, and it's 0-1. Varsho has 2 of the 4 hits in this game, both singles. Josh Hader just came off the IL a couple of weeks ago. He hasn't been pitching all that much this year. He's only given up 2 hits this season, and ironically, they're both to lefties. And as you saw from that last pitch, he is not a comfortable at bat for a left-handed batter.
Oh no.
1-2.
He runs that fastball in the inner lane and then throws the slider off of it. Get a lot of knee buckling, and anytime a left-hander can get the fastball close to the body line to the opposing left-handed hitter with velocity, almost always opens up spin down and away.
Guerrero at first, 2 down. And the 1-2 to Varsho. A challenge coming.
Hitting the ball call.
If it's a strike, it's the ball game. It's the ball game. Just nicked the corner. The game is over. The Astros win 3-1. And Caleb, quite frankly, a disappointing series here for the Blue Jays, losing 2 out of 3.
A lot of fans are going to say, well, the offense didn't do anything. Well, Houston Astros, they only got 4 hits as well, and it's continued self-inflicted wounds that continue to plague Toronto Blue Jays. They've got to find a way to clean some of that stuff up, whether it's a pickoff play, whether it's a base running play, whether it's some defensive stuff. There's just so many moving parts. They haven't been able to really get that groove going, and a lot of it's because of what they're not doing. Not what other teams are doing to them, what they're not doing. And until they can play fundamentally sound, solid, give no inch away type baseball, you will continue to see this over and over and over. They're going to feel bad. Those guys in that dugout right now, they're sitting there going, there was 3 games to be had right there, and they gave it 2 of them. Gave them away.
They got to 500 with the win in the opening game of the series Monday night. They're back to 2 games under right now. Got to turn the page, get ready for the Texas Rangers, who will be here for the first of 4 tomorrow night. Again, the final, the Astros 3 and the Blue Jays 1. Time now for Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC with Ken and Ivanka.